everyone. Welcome to my Thursday Night Live. I'm April Davis. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I live in Spring Hill, Kansas, and you can find me at aprildaviscreations.com. It's not Thursday. It's really Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. Today's Wednesday, November 27th. Tomorrow is Thursday, the 28th, which happens to be Thanksgiving. And so I decided to go ahead and record tonight. I'm having Thanksgiving at my house with the kids and my mom and my brother. And dinner's at 5. And since I go live at 7, I thought, it's just not going to happen. But I didn't want to miss being with you, so I decided to go ahead and record my to-go class tonight. It will be posted tomorrow at 7 if you happen to be around. Otherwise, you can always find it on Facebook, and then on Friday mornings it gets uploaded to YouTube. But I didn't want to miss being with you, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to record this, and I'm going to keep it short. Since it is the eve of Thanksgiving, I've got 2 cakes that I need to bake tonight, and I'm going to make a cranberry jello salad. So I need to get those things done tonight so they're ready for tomorrow, and then the rest of the cooking will be done tomorrow. I am grateful that dinner is late. I'm accommodating my kids and their other halves families, and they're just trying to be with everybody. So they'll do early Thanksgivings with their spouses' families, and then they'll come and join me at 5. But it gives me all day to cook, except for the cakes. So I'm going to do those tonight after I get done recording. But I'm so grateful to have you here. This is a to-go class. All of the information for the to-go class is on my website at aprildaviscreations.com. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But this is my Thursday Night Live. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's get started. And I'm going to share with you the cards that we're going to be baking tonight. All right, we are utilizing the Yuletide Village photopolymer stamp set. It's just stamps. There are no dies with this particular one. So if there's anything that I'm doing, I'm going to be doing it fussy cutting. And these actually are masks that I used for another project. And a lot of times when I am doing another project, I will keep the masks in with my stamps so that I don't have to recut them again. So let me move this out of the way and I will share the cards with you. We have this fun snowy looking card. We've got this one for Happy Holidays. And then the last one we've got for tonight is Season Greetings with the beautiful church and the embossed background. So let's go ahead and get started with the Happy Holidays card first. Let me find my kit for that. We're going to be using the crumb cake cardstock for our base. I have Granny Apple Green for a layer. I have, oh my gosh, I don't have it in front of me. This is a specialty paper. It's a wooded specialty paper. So I've got this, and then of course I've got a piece of crumb cake for my sentiment. And we are going to be stamping, do I need, yes, I need to stamp a tree on this. And then I've got 2 additional pieces of cardstock that I have already punched out with the heartfelt hexagon punch. So I went ahead and punched those out ahead of time, but I'll show you what we're going to be doing with them. Obviously, on one of them, we're going to have one of the houses. So let's go ahead and get started with our stamping. Let's do Happy Holidays first. Move this out of the way. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. I bring this in when I'm stamping because there's no cushion with my photopolymer stamps. And I want to make sure that I get a good connection with the paper where I'm stamping. So I always use my Stampin' Pierce mat. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you, I'm going to bring in a piece of paper, scratch paper. These stamps are 2 different stamps, Happy and Holidays. And I think I had them lined up appropriately. I lined them up on my grid paper and then I grabbed them. What I'm not quite sure about is the spacing, because I put them right close to each other. And I think the spacing is going to be good, but I'm just going to test it out to make sure, because of the extra photopolymer that's around the stamps, sometimes it may not be spaced appropriately. But that looks like it's spaced good to me. So we're going to go ahead and get this first one stamped. And I'm actually just going to turn this over on the back and stamp from with my ink pad coming down on the stamp this time around, just because I feel like I've got a little bit more control when it's a stamp this big. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to come to the end of this, and I'm trying to get my head out of the way, but I want to get this stamped, and we'll see if I did it straight. If not, I've got another side of the paper. But that looks good to me. I like that. So let me go ahead and get my stamp cleaned off. I'm going to leave my ink out because now I need to stamp my tree. So I'm going to bring in my tree stamp, and I'm going to just use this piece of scrap cardstock. So let me go ahead and get this inked up. We're going to be doing some coloring with our Stampin' Blends. So let's see if we got enough ink on this that it works. Yep, that looks good. And last but not least, I need to stamp my house. We're going to do that in the Memento Black ink as well. So let me find the right house. I think it is this one. So let's go ahead and get this one inked up as well. And I'm going to turn it over again just so that I can have a little bit more control and see what I'm doing. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to get this centered in on the label that I've got. All right, let's go right about here, I think. Good connection. Great. I like it. Okay, so now we've got the stamping done. Let me get this last stamp cleaned off, close out my ink, and then before I start to fussy cut my tree, I need to do some coloring. So I tend to do my coloring before I fussy cut and or before I die cut. So I'm going to use the dark Granny Apple Green on this one. Let's see if I can get this cap off. It's being a little bit difficult. Hold on. Almost there. For whatever reason, it wants to stay stuck in there, and I'm going to have to play around with this just a little bit. This doesn't happen hardly ever, but for whatever reason, this particular Granny Apple Green has been giving me a little bit of grief. There we go. We got it. Okay. I'm going to do some hit and miss coloring because there is snow on this tree, and I don't want to color in the snow. So we're going to keep it white. And I'm going to try to color around all the snow. So while I'm coloring, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Are you guys having big family gatherings for Thanksgiving, or is it small and intimate? For us, it's just the kids and the grandkids. So I think I counted that there would be about 13 of us. Like I said, my mom's going to be with us, and my brother, and then my son and his wife and their 2 boys, and my daughter and her husband and their 3 children. They have 2 girls and a boy. And today I actually had a girls' day with them and my mom. My mom's in town. She lives about 2 hours south of me in Independence, Kansas. And so she was in town for Thanksgiving, staying with us. And Autumn had the day off, and the girls were out of school. And so she planned a girls' day. And basically what we did is we had lunch at the movie theater. My granddaughter went and got her ears pierced, And then we went to the movie theater and we saw the new movie Moana, which was really, really good. We enjoyed that a lot. So we had lunch at the theater. It was one of those dine-in theaters. And so we had lunch at the theater and then saw the movie. And so had a really nice time. Then we did a little bit of shopping afterwards. So it was a full day, but we had a really good time. But back to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for us tends to be a little bit more intimate. My husband's side of the family also has a big family gathering, but it's kind of difficult to get everywhere. So we typically will do Christmas at my husband's mom and dad's house, and then we do our own Thanksgiving here. But it's always fun to get the family together. And because we're having a late dinner this time around, the kids are staying, at least my son, because he's from out of town. He lives in Andover, Kansas. So they're going to stay the night, and we're going to have a game night. So we'll have our Thanksgiving dinner, which consists of traditional turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and green bean casserole and just all the fixings, the rolls and everything. And then they'll stay and we'll have a breakfast in the morning, a breakfast casserole before they leave. So what I'm doing now, I've been coloring, and what I'm doing now is I'm using Wink of Stella, and it looks like my brush is just a little dry. I don't want it to be very thick because then it kind of puts a gray coating on the paper. But if you have it really light, it will show sparkles. And what I want it to do is I want it to basically emulate snow, the sparkles of snow on the roof. So I'm coloring this in, and as soon as I get this done, I'll lift it up so you guys can see potentially the snow. And I'm going to go ahead and put the snow on the tree as well, because of course I didn't color that in because it is snow. So let me go ahead and do that. And I think I've got what I'm looking for. Let me check, make sure I didn't miss any spaces here. I do go light with the Wink of Stella. Again, if you go too dark with it, it kind of has a gray tint to it, but only if you get it too thick. And then what I can do is I've got some snow along here. So I'm not going to color in the whole thing, but I'm just going to take the snow and do it on the bank. Okay? So let me see if I can bring this up. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see the sparkle or not. I'm trying to get, oh, there. I thought I saw a little bit of it. I'm looking in the camera, seeing if I can, maybe you can see a little bit of it. Anyway, nice touch. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon snips. I'm not going to take my ribbon snips. I'm going to take my paper snips. And I am going to fussy cut this tree out. So we're going to do a really quick job of fussy cutting on this. So these cards are very, very easy. They're just a little bit more time consuming because there are no dies. So if you do choose to cut anything out, you're going to have to fussy cut it, which is fine. And then I'm doing a lot of coloring with my blends to color in my houses. But fun cards to make. So I would love for you guys to leave a comment when you get a chance to watch this and let me know if you have any traditions for your Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgivings are pretty traditional with turkey, and then at Christmas time, I like to have ham. However, my mom, when she does her Christmas, and we actually did a Christmas Thanksgiving celebration with my extended family. Was it last weekend or the weekend before last? Maybe it was the weekend before last. And they call it Christ Giving, so it's kind of a combination of Christmas and Thanksgiving. And for as long as I can remember, Christmas dinner has always been tacos. And she has the nacho cheese and the chips and all the different, you've got your crunchy shells and your soft shells and all the fixings for, tacos. But it's just tradition that we do that. So that's the gathering that we have with my mom. And like I said, we've already done that. And we do it purposely around Thanksgiving or between Thanksgiving and Christmas, whatever the schedule works out best for the family, the extended family, because everybody's so busy with the rest of their family. That way they can spend time with their the holidays with their families. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mount this house to this red punch. But you can see that they're both the same size. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to cut it right down the middle. And then what I can do is I can glue half of it on this side. So let's go ahead and get my glue out and we'll put half of it on this side. See if I can get my glue working. There we go. So I'll do that. And get this, I'm going to turn it over, scooch it down, and then just line it up side to side, so that it's nice and even. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. And this is a fun way to border up your labels or your punches, and especially when they're the same size. So let me go ahead and I'm going to pull this down, make these even side to side. I think we got it. Okay, that's ready to go. The only other thing I need to do now is take a little dimensional, because I don't have a lot of space, but I'll take a little dimensional and put it on the back of this tree. And I'm just looking to see, yeah, I think I'm just going to do the two littles. And let me see, might take your pick, and we'll take the backs of these dimensionals off. And then we will put the tree, whoops, getting dimensional stuck on my fingers. I think I'm going to have my tweezers help me just to kind of figure out where I want to lay this. And I'm going to cover up this window. So I think I'm going to lay it right about here. Let's see, is that straight? Do I need to, is it tilting a little bit? It might be. So I'm not going to press it down tight. I'm just going to, there we go. I think I like that. There we go. Okay, so we've got that ready to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start building the rest of the card. So let me move this out of the way. Bring in our card base, and we'll go ahead and get that ready. I'm going to burnish it so that it lays down. And then I'm going to take this wood grained specialty paper, and I'm going to adhere it to my Granny Apple Green. I'll get that lined up. It's about 1/8 of an inch maybe on each side. Maybe it's 1/16 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 16. Yeah, it's not 1/4 of an inch. I'm counting backwards. It's very, very little. All right, so we've got this. Scooching it to make sure I've got it the way that I want it. Okay, that looks good. Now, I think what I want to do is I laid it flat on my first one, but I think I want to pop this one up and give it some dimension. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to use the edges. I use all of the dimensionals. So what I'm doing right now, I've still got some dimensionals in here, but really all I want is the edges right now. So I went ahead and snipped those, and you can see that my edges are going to pull up, and then I can just put my edges down on my card, and that will help to pop it up. I could use just dimensionals, and you've probably seen me do that a number of times, but I thought, you know, this one's almost empty. I'm just going to go ahead and use it up. Let's see, I want to make sure that's not too far. It is for me, so I'm going to trim this up just a tiny bit. I don't want you to be able to see it from the edge of the card. Okay, let's keep going. We're still building. I'm going to bring this one over here. So don't ever throw your dimensionals away, the edges of your dimensionals, because you can definitely utilize them. And that, so I've got that, and then I just don't want any middle sag. So I'm gonna go ahead and take one dimensional here, and I'm gonna take one dimensional here. Save the rest of these for later. And now I've got all of this. Now, let me pull this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna take the backs off of these, and I do want to get this centered up appropriately. So my preference, and again, it's a personal preference. You do not have to do this, but if you find that you have to have a little bit of wiggle room to move things around to get them even, you might consider putting some glue on the backs of your dimensionals. It's not because they're not sticky. They're absolutely very sticky. Hence why I put glue on them, because once I put this layer down, if I don't put glue on this, then it pretty much is stuck down. And I don't like the idea of having to peel it back up again. So I put the glue on so that I can get this, if I don't get this centered, or if I'm off a little bit, or if it's tilting, or whatever the situation might be, I'm very gently laying this down. And the other thing, this is so weird, it's like if I put glue on the backs of my dimensionals, then I do a much better job of putting my layer down. If I don't do that, then I don't do it. Okay, one thing that I wanted to do that I didn't get done is I was gonna put this down. Yes, it's going all the way across. It's set up so that it goes all the way across, so we're good. I thought that I was gonna need to do some cutting, and I wanted to do the cutting before I put the strip down, but that is not the case. So I'm just gonna go ahead and center this right across the card, edge to edge. It's lining up with the white for the most part. Okay, so we've got that down. And now what I'll do is I'll take a few more of those dimensionals, and I'll put them on the back of this, and we'll put 2 here, and I'm gonna put 2 here, and call that good. This is completely empty now, so that's good. And then we'll take the backs off. We're going to lay this down on this side of the card. Is that where I want it? I think it is. So I'm going to put it there. Then I'm going to take some twine, and I have the twine right here. So I go through a lot of twine. Twine is a staple in my craft room. I use it a lot. And then I'm just going to double this up so that I've got like a double bow. So I'm going to try to straighten this out a little bit since it's been wound up on the spool. And then we'll go ahead and tie the bow. And then what I can do is I can come back in with my ribbon snips, and I'm going to trim off this end. And I'm going to bring this other one down. Whoops, getting my ribbon in the way. This is how I know it's my ribbon snips, because it's got a ribbon on it. And let me see, what do I want to do? I'm checking to see if I want my ends to be that long. They are kind of long, so I think I'm going to trim them up just a tad. So trim there and trim there. See if I even got that even. Of course I didn't. So we're going to trim again. All right, now I think my bows are good. Yes. And hold on. I'm going to bring out my glue dots, and we can just take, you can use your take your pick and kind of roll it up into a ball. And what I'll do is I'll just put it on my pick, and then I'll take it and lay it down right about there. And then I can put my bow right over the top of it. So my bow's right here at the bottom. And one more thing, I'm going to bring in my pecan pie and clear ribbon adhesive backed dots. I love, love, love these dots. And I think I'm going to use the brown. So I'm going to use my take your pick. Well, I'll use this end of the take your pick to pick that up. There we go. So I'm going to put one here, and we'll get another one right here. And then I'm going to take this third one and I'm going to bring it down over here. Very good. Move these off to the side. And we now have our holiday card number 1 done. Happy holidays. How fun is that? All right, let's move into card number 2. Let me move these out of the way. And we'll bring in card number 2. And this one is going to be a fun one as well. I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way so it's not in my way. But I'm showing you this one, and I know there's one more stamp that I need to pull out, and that is my snow stamp. So I'm going to bring out my snow stamp. Oh, and I need to bring out my garland stamp as well. So let me pull those 2 stamps out. I pretty much pulled everything out of the box. I'm looking for a block that I can get my garland on. So I'm going to do it this way, and we've got it angled. And then let me see, is this big enough for my snow? Maybe. Yes, it is. So now we've got our snow. Okay, so we've got the rest of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take, well, I'll show you what's in the kit. It's pretty simple. We have basic white for our base, and then I have a sheet of basic white for the rest of the card. And that is basically, oh, I do need one more, don't I? Do I have another piece? I do. Do I? Hold on a second. I can't remember. Nope, I do. All right, let me pull out. I've got another piece. It just didn't get cut. 1 second. I know it's here. I've got scrap paper over here that I can utilize, so I'm looking to pull it out. There we go. All right, now we're good. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do the outer layer of the card, and then this is the inner layer of the card where we're going to actually be stamping the winter scene. So I think what I'm going to do to start, I don't remember, it's been a while since I've made this card, so I want to make sure that I've got my winter scene in the circle. So the circle or the card base that has the circle cut out of it, and that was cut out with the stylish shape dies. I think I have them here, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a really, really, really light circle here. So you can see the light circle. And this then will give me guidance as far as where I want to do my stamping. So I can go ahead and get this scene stamped ahead of time. We've got our tall building that we're going to be stamping. And then we also have another building. They're 2 different buildings. So let's go ahead and stamp those because I'm going to need to be doing some coloring with that. And we're going to be doing that in the Memento Black, which is right here. So let's go ahead and get that started. And then I could erase these lines once I'm done. So let me pull the stuff out of the way. And I'm just going to get this part of it done. So let me get I'm going to turn this over just so that I've got a little bit more control on my inking. These are all basically outlines, and so you can set this up however you want to set it up, and then you can color in. So I think I'm going to bring this one over about here. Make sure I get a good, that looks good. I'll clean that up in just a second. I'm going to bring in the second house, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm doing this on my glass mat. It's making it sound like I'm beating it, but I'm really not. Okay, this one I'm going to bring down just a tiny bit, and it's going to be outside the circle just a little bit, but we've got that. And then let me go ahead and clean these stamps off, and we'll do our garland, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with the front layer. So let me close this. Well, I need this in just a second, but let me get it out of the way. Okay, we've got this one. Okay, now we're going to bring the garland back in, and I'm just going to do the garland right across the top. See, I've got good coverage, and I've got a little bit of ink on the corner. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little bit of ink there. I don't want it to get on my card, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Then I can come back up here and I'm gonna bring my garland right about here. Get it stamped. Oh, it's really dark. Okay, that's fine. There's more to it. We'll color in the houses. All right, so let's go ahead and close this up. And then I have a high polymer eraser. It's by Pentel. And I'm gonna go ahead and erase my circle so that it doesn't show. I did it very, very lightly. And so I can go ahead and get that erased. And I can be confident that my, and I love this eraser because it doesn't show any smearing. Sometimes erasers will do smearing. For example, I'm not gonna show you, but like my eraser on the back of here, you can see that it will do smearing. So I will do my pencil to mark my area, and then I use this Pentel high polymer eraser to do my erasing, and it works beautifully. All right, I'm gonna set this aside for just a second because we are going to have to color that in. That's gonna take a bit of time. But what I wanna do now is I wanna bring in the top layer, and with the top layer we're actually going to be doing some blending. That's how we're going to get the color, and we're going to do it right here on the glass mat. I'm going to move all my blocks out of the way, and I love my glass mat because I can do my blending and I don't have to worry about anything. So I'm going to actually use my Pool Party ink. I think that's a nice light ink for it to represent snow, and I'm just going to start from the outside edges, and I'm going to blend this color in. And I'm not coming down all the way. I'm only going to come down about halfway, but I'm going to have to do several layers of this to get it to the color that I want. And if you're too heavy, then you can kind of see what I've done at the very top here, but I'm going to add more color. But you've got to be gentle at the same time as you're doing this, because otherwise too much pressure will actually cause markings like this on it. So, but I'm not too worried about it right now because I know that I'm putting in more color. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do this a number of times. Tap it off, and then I'm going to come back in again. Get more color on this. And actually what I can do is I can pull color from my glass mat as well. And you want to make sure you keep your fingers out of the ink because the bottom part is going to be white, and so I don't want any inky fingerprints on the bottom part. But you can see I'm pulling the color from the glass, and I'm just going to go a little bit darker along here. Down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I don't think I need to go any darker than that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my chamois, and I will clean this up off of my glass mat. The glass mat is available. It's an online exclusive. So if you are interested in the glass mat, you can search just glass mat, and our online exclusives. And I love it. I don't waste as much paper because I do most of my blending on my glass mat. All right, I'm gonna grab a paper towel just to kind of dry that off. There we go. And then I'm gonna bring this back in, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my snow stamp, and I'm actually gonna bring my, because it's a stamp and it's photopolymer, I'm gonna bring my piercing mat back in, and we're gonna bring back the Pool Party again. This is gonna be tone on tone, but we'll bring back the Pool Party, and I'm just gonna be stamping haphazardly all over, and it's going to represent snow. So we'll go through here, and then maybe here, and here, a little bit here. I think I need just a tiny bit more over here. Okay, that's good. I don't want to overdo it with the snow. All right, so we've got that. Let me clean this stamp up. And then I have one more thing to stamp, and that's the sentiment. And then we can start coloring. So let me see, did I get that blue off of there? I feel like I see blue. All right, Merry Christmas is the same situation that I had with the Happy Holidays. It's two separate words in this particular stamp set. And I am using the greetings of the season for my sentiments. The Yuletide Village in itself does not have any sentiments. So I'm using the greetings of the season, and we've got Merry and we've got Christmas. We had Happy and we had Holidays. I could do this Merry with that Christmas. There's a lot of different ways that you can mix and match these, but I want this to be one word, or not one word, but I didn't want to have to stamp Merry and then stamp Christmas, because then I don't know that I'm going to get it lined up quite the way that I want it. So I did exactly the same thing again. I put both of these down on my grid and then lined them up, and I got them as close as I could, as close as the stamps would let me. So let's go ahead and test this out, get this coated up, and I'm gonna test it, and if it's spaced okay, then I'm going with it. So let me go ahead and get this stamped. Ah, it looks like it's spaced just fine. So let me bring this back in. I will ink this up again. And then I am going to, let me close this up. I'm going to center the Merry Christmas right underneath my circle. All right, let's go with that. Nice. Looks good. Okay. All right, so can't put it together yet because I got some coloring I need to do, and I'm going to bring my Wink of Stella back out again. So, 1 second while I get this stamp cleaned up. So we'll luckily dry on this, and I'm going to bring these guys back in, and I'm going to use soft sea foam for one of them. I'm going to use a light crumb cake, it looks like, maybe for another one. I was actually using gray, but I don't see my gray Stampin' Right markers here with me, so we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're going to use brown or crumb cake. So the building I'm going to do in the lighter crumb cake. So, and it's going to take me just a bit because I got to work around these windows. I don't want to color in the windows, and of course the windows have snow on them. So I'm going to have to use the Wink of Stella on the snow. But I'll very gently go around these so that we can finish putting this card together. So what else can I chat with you about? We were talking about Thanksgiving. Oh, we're going to be doing game night. So I'm not quite sure what games we're going to play. It's always fun when we can include the kids, especially now that they're getting older. The oldest granddaughter is 7, and then I have a 6-year-old grandson, and then I have a 4-year-old I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, then I have a 4-year-old grandson, and then I have a 2-year-old grandson. So they are getting a little bit older now that we can actually have some fun with them, you know, and they love to play. So I'm trying to think. There was a game, and see, I'm not going to be able to remember what it is, but I just ordered it. It has to do with a floppy fish or something. I don't know. I probably should stop while I'm ahead, because you're thinking, what the heck is she talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about, but it was a game that was recommended to me by a coworker when I was corporate, and we were just talking about it yesterday, and she's like, you just got to get it because the kids will love it. And it's silly. It's a silly game. And So I went ahead and ordered it. Amazon was supposed to deliver it today. I don't know. Amazon's delivering late. It's almost 7 o'clock and Amazon hasn't come yet. But you know, it's the holiday season now and they've got a lot of packages. I do most of my shopping through Amazon, so I don't have to get out in the stores. But anyway, so I think we're gonna try to do that, and then my son and his wife and the kids will be spending the night, and we've got my mom spending the night, so it'll be a fun time. We'll play games, and my daughter and her husband and the kids will go home because they're only about 30 minutes out, but the others will stay. Okay, I think, do I want to go darker on any of these? Did I do the light? I think I need to do the light on this one as well, and then I will do one of the buildings is going to be in the seafoam green, and the other building is going to be in the pool party. So let's go ahead and do this one here in the pool party. And again, oops, it looks like I missed a roof line, so we'll go ahead and get that done. And then Friday is just kind of a free-for-all day. I think we're just gonna play Friday by ear. I know we're not going out and shopping, and then of course I have to take my mom home on Saturday. So Sunday I have a cookies and cards event here at the house. I've invited all my friends and neighbors in the neighborhood to come make and take cards and enjoy some cookies, some holiday cookies. I just think it's fun to get together and chit chat and get to know your neighbors. So we're gonna do that, and that'll be the weekend. It's gonna go by fast. Hopefully this is the right color. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so this one's gonna look a little bit different. So we've got that one, and let's get the sea foam. And I think then we'll be good to go. We can start. Well, I am going to have to put some Winkestella on this. So again, these cards, so easy. Really, you saw. It's just a matter of taking the time to just color in our buildings so we don't have plain buildings. Get them colored in, and then we can put the card together. So let's go ahead and almost done with this. All right, I think I'm good. Good to go there. I don't know why I didn't do it before, but I'm gonna color in my wreath because I think it's not really a wreath, it's a bow, but I think my front door should have a red bow on it. All right, so here's our Winkestella again. And we've got quite a bit of snow. So I'm just going to very carefully take my Winkestella and color in. And I'm going to actually, I'll show you. I do want a little bit more. Oh, see, it just dropped out. And you can see how gray that is. So I don't want that much. So I'll just pull from it. But this way I can get my snow on a little bit quicker. So go ahead and get our snow on. And then I'll just wipe up that little pile of snow that's left. Come in here and pull that. I love the Winkestella. It just has like a fun sparkle. And you know, when you're looking at snow on a roof, it sparkles. So I'm turning it so that I can see if I've missed any areas, because it is a little bit difficult to see when you're putting it down. Looks like I got quite a bit on that one, so it's going to be a little bit darker. And that is what happens if you get too much, but some of it will dry. Okay, I'm going to put some on my little snowman, and then I've got some here on the windows that I need to get taken care of. I've got this area right here. There's a lot of snow on this. Okay, and then I'm going to take the snow and I'm going to, or the sparkle, the Winkestella, and I'm going to go along the edges of the snow bank here. Okay, did I miss any? Did I get it all? I think so. All right, so before I make a mess, I'm going to take that paper towel that I had, and I'm just going to wipe this up so that I don't have to worry about getting into that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to make my little, not with that color, make my garland stand out just a little bit. So I'm just going to take my pool party, and I'm just going to kind of put little circles on my garland just to kind of make it stand out just a little bit. So we'll get that done. Did I get on the tops of my chimneys? I was looking to see if I got my Wink of Stella on the tops of my chimneys. All right, I'm gonna bring in the Wink of Stella one more time. And I think I need a little bit right here on the top of my chimney. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring in my sea foam again, because I feel like part of my house is showing right here. So we'll go ahead and get that colored in. Okay, now we are ready to start building this scene. So the first thing I'm gonna do is we can do a couple of things. We can pop up this one, and because I didn't do it on the first one, of course, I'm gonna do it on this one. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals. Let me see if I've got, I don't have the strips here. Okay, we'll just use my dimensionals. And I've got a sheet. We'll use these. Looking for my non-ribbon snips. So let's go ahead and cut this and cut this. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it on this side of my, let's see, maybe go this way. So I'm gonna put on this side of my circle, and then I'm gonna trim this up again. And put it on the other side of my circle. I'm gonna try to go down the middle. And then of course I need to do the top. So let me see if this is, yeah, I can do this across the top. Trim off this little piece right here. See, nobody's gonna see this side of it, so it doesn't really matter to me how it looks. And then I'm also going to give some, these little guys wanted to come with it. I'm gonna do this side. I just want my circle to be stabilized. And then what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take a few of these dimensionals and I'll just put them down here at the bottom. But I just definitely want some support around my circle. All right, so now when I go to put this down, it's gonna pop up and it's gonna give some dimension to that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take all of these backings off. And once again, I've pretty much cleaned out a sheet of dimensionals. Used every last bit, if you will. I think I've got like one little thing to go. Now this is gonna line up evenly. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is line it edge to edge and get it lined up this way. And see if I get that edge to edge. And it is edge to edge here, but it's off just a tiny, tiny bit here. So I don't worry about it. I'm just gonna take my snips and I'm gonna trim off that edge on this side. And nobody will ever know. And if I didn't tell you that I had done that, you guys wouldn't have known either. All right, I think, am I okay on the top? I think I have just a teeny tiny bit on the top that I want to take off, just because I want it to be even. All right, so we're gonna take off just a little bit more off the top. There we go. All right, that's ready to go. And you can see I just took off just a teeny tiny bit. All right, now what we'll do is we'll bring our card base in, get it ready to go. my bone folder. And then we're going to put glue in the back. Now, what I had done before is I had the houses flat up against the circle, and I had popped up, well, I'll show you in a minute, but I had popped up this layer. This time I'm doing this layer flat, and I popped up the circle. So you guys do what, you know, you like best, what works for you. And I can show you how they both look. All right, so that's pretty well centered. So we got that. I'm going to show you that in just a second. We're going to bring out our embellishments again. This time I'm going to use the clear with the little ribbon in it. And I'm looking for my, take your pick. So I'll pull this one up and we'll put one here. And I think I'm going to put one right here. And then I'm going to put the other one right down here. All right, so now we have card number 2 done. And the differences obviously are the colors of the houses are a little bit different, but here it's flat and then it's popped up that layer. This one is popped up around the houses. I actually like this one better. And then it looks like it's popped up, but I laid the layer flat. So we still ended up having that illusion of it being popped up, but it's popped up around the houses too. So pretty and so fun, so easy, right? All right, let's look at the last card that we've got. And I'll bring it back in again. And this is our church, so pretty. So this kit is basic white for our base. Then I'm using crumb cake for our layer. And then we have another layer that is real red. And I embossed this layer with the 3D distressed tile embossing folder to add a little bit of just texture to it, some interest to it, utilizing a piece this big without embossing it. I felt like it needed something else. So went ahead and did that. And then I've got 2 circles. Again, these circles, I think maybe I've got my stylish shaped dies here. They might be in the other room. They're in the other room, but you see me pull them out all the time. They're a staple in my craft room. And that's it. So we are going to get our stamping done first. And I am actually going to stamp the church in Smoky Slate. Is that what I'm going to stamp it in? No, I'm not. I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake. I'm going to stamp my church in crumb cake. So we will bring our little mat back in. And here we've got our church, and our church is all encompassing. It's got everything. It's got the snow, it's got the tree, everything we need. So let me go ahead and get this inked up. And I'm gonna bring it down so that my steeple is in the circle. All right, I think this is how I want it. So make sure I get a good transfer of ink. And I didn't. But we'll be fine. I'm going to be coloring, but I didn't press enough on my path, but I'm going to color my path in, so it's all good. So let me clean this off. And then the other thing that I'm going to stamp is the sentiment. So let me put this ink away, and I'm going to pull out, did I put my real red? I put my real red ink up. All right, hold on a second. I gotta go grab my real red ink. There it is. Back, so quick. All right, bring this in. And we are going to stamp Season's Greetings. Season's Greetings is also part of that Greetings of the Seasons stamp set, sentiments. And let's go ahead and get this inked up and centered here. There we go. Looks good. All right, let's go ahead and get this cleaned off. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start coloring our church. So the church is going to be in crumb cake and the dark, and I've also got granny apple green. So let's go ahead and get our wreath colored in first. So here I've got this granny apple green again that's giving me grief. There we go. Got it. Got it. So I'm going to just very gently get it colored in. These are alcohol inks, so you barely want to touch the paper, especially when you're doing little areas, because sometimes the color can bleed. That's why when you're coloring, you tend to stay away from the edge and the color will bleed up to the edge. So I'm going to do my tree as well. And again, I'm not going quite up to the edge, but I'm also being very gentle with this, barely touching the paper because it's a small area. And I don't want my color to bleed out. And if I push too hard in an area this small, it definitely will grow, if you will. It likes to bleed out. So I'm also trying to watch out for the snow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this finished up. Snow areas. I think I've got a little bit more I can do here. There we go. Okay, got that. Now, let's do our church. I'm actually going to do the dark first. So this is the dark crumb cake. So we'll go ahead and do these little areas again with the dark crumb cake. So is there anyone watching that goes shopping that Friday after Thanksgiving? I remember when my kids were little, and of course, you know, they're adults now with kids of their own. But when my kids were little, we would get the newspaper. We'd get the Thanksgiving Day newspaper. Maybe it's the one that came out on, I don't remember when the newspaper came out, but it was fat, very, very fat. And the reason it was so fat is because it had all of the ads in it. And there were all these Black Friday specials that would be in the newspaper. And I can remember going through the ads and finding the stores that had either the items that I was looking for or, you know, the most amazing specials, because I was Christmas shopping. And my mom would go out with me and we would start, I mean, the sun had not even come up. It was, some of these stores opened really, really early. And you'd get to the stores and there would be lines out the doors around the building. And it was kind of a free-for-all when you got in the store because everybody was going for the same amazing deals. And I remember doing that. And when I was a young mother and I was trying to save money, it was really a lot of fun to do that. We had a great time. Now I'm like, you can't pay me enough to go out and do that anymore. And I think it's become so convenient to be able to, you know, shop online as well. But I just wonder if anybody still does that. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. First of all, I can't remember the last time I've seen a newspaper. I remember the paper boy used to come and throw the newspapers, you know, on the driveways as they were, you know, driving through the neighborhood. And now I don't even know if there's newspapers. I'm sure there are, but who takes the newspaper now? Everything's, you know, read online. So anyway, I would be curious to hear what you guys do, because it just seems like a memory from when I was a young mother, and I just don't know if it still happens. But I have good memories. I don't want to do it now, but I do have good memories. Oh, I because I need to do this part of the building, right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go rogue. I love a white church, and I may go back and I'm going to make that door dark. So I'm going to go just a little bit rogue, and I'm going to leave that center section of the church white. And I'm going to color the doors in the darker crumb cake. And let's see. There, it's really dark now. You can't see the definition. It's okay. It's all good. Let's go ahead. We got the tree colored in. I'm going to put snow on. Of course, you know we use the Wink of Stella for the snow. Oh, I am going to do a little bow on top of my, oh, okay, I'll use this. Normally I don't use the brush tip, but it's so little, I think we can get that done. And then, I'm thinking I might want to put a little bit of the dark. I like this. I'm kind of winking it. I'm going to put a little bit of this dark crumb cake around the edge of this window. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if this was a good idea or not. It's such a small area. I'm really worried about getting too much ink there. Oh, okay. That turned out okay. All right, let's get our Wink of Stella on. I think I've got plenty on here from the last time. So we'll go ahead and get our snow on our roofs. Get that all colored in. We've got some snow here. Don't forget we've got snow on our trees. I want to make sure I get the... Oh, too much is coming out. Ugh. See how much is coming out? That's too much. All right, so I was able to wipe a little bit of that off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and color this in. All this snow right here. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this colored in. A lot of Wink of Stella was coming out. You're really going to be able to see it. I don't mean to be pushing hard, but I think maybe I am. I was so light-handed when I created it the first time. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good. All right, let's find my little napkin so that I can get this wiped up. And you can kind of see the snow, but actually I kind of like the effect of that a little bit because it is such a large area that it's kind of fun to have that. All right, so let's go start building our card. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is our card base, and obviously I'm gonna do this just a little bit differently than I did the first time around because I feel like we need some pop-up. So let's go ahead and get our embossed layer down. So I'll get some glue on that. I feel like my glue bottle is a little clogged up. I'm having to squeeze pretty hard. All right, let's get this on our crumb cake. And make sure I get that centered the way we want it. And then I am going to put this on the base with dimensionals. Let's see, do I have dimensionals over here? Looking for my dimensionals. I've been using them all up. Here. I have a lot of dimensionals that just need to be used up. All right, so let's do it. Let's go ahead and trim this up again. That wasn't the plan tonight, but that's kind of how it's worked out, right? So give me some strips here to start. So let's strip there. We have a strip here. A little bit to use up here. And then these are just individual pieces, so I'm just gonna kind of put these up wherever I can. I don't want to waste them. I probably should have just left them on the sheet, but that's okay. We're gonna clean this up. Let's get that off of there. Oops. All right, here we go. We got some more. Let's cut it here and here. So I've got a strip here. And I need a little strip there. It's kind of in, oh, you know what? Because I cut off the end. I'm like, why does it look like that? Because I got creative and cut off the end for something that I needed. And so I needed a little sliver, and that's why that looks like that. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm just gonna stick that in there. And I think I'm good. Yeah. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this layer, peel off all this crazy backing, just mix and matching. And do I have all of it? Nope. I have another one here, here. All right, guys, I am going to risk it because I don't want to put glue on all of this, but oh my goodness, this is scary. This is scary. I'm going to put this down. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. I mean, it's not exact, but it's close enough. I don't need to do any finagling with it, but I raised this up, whereas the previous one was flat. I raised it up, and now what I'm going to do is I feel like I'm going to go ahead and put my church down flat. So let's go ahead. We'll do it like we did before. Get my church down here, and I'm going to put it right about here. Okay. And then, of course, I need dimensionals for my season's greetings. So let's go ahead and we'll just finish using up the rest of these. So something there, and these funky little pieces that have like little slivers. There we go. I didn't want that hanging out. We got a little piece here, a little piece here, and this piece here. Okay, I think we're good. I mean, I think I cleaned up like 3 sheets of dimensionals that were almost used up, and I just went ahead and used them all up, so nothing went to waste. All right, very good. So now we're going to take our season's greetings, and I'm going to put it right about here. Let's see. Yep, I think I want it right there. I'm going to pull my twine back out again, and I'm going to do a double bow again. So I kind of like this twine is so thin, and I love the twine. Like I said, it's a staple in my studio, but I do like a little bit of a thick bow. So I'm going to go ahead and double this up. And let's see, make it a little bit smaller so I got a little bit of a tail. Let's see, this one needs to, whoop, there we go. Just kind of playing around with it right now, finessing it to get it to where I want it. And then we'll pull these 2 ends together, and I'm going to use my ribbon snips to snip these off. So now I've got that. And let me see, I think I put it up at the top last time, and I do kind of like it up above. So let's get our glue dot. And for me, you can do it a number of ways. Let me show you. If I go ahead and roll this up, because I want it to be rolled up so it's not quite so thick, then it's on my take your pick. And so a lot of times you'll see people pick up the dot with the ribbon, but because I'm rolling it up because I don't want it so thick, it comes off on my take your pick, and I just have to do it like that. So I'll find another example another time to show you. But we've got that. So we're going to bring our fun embellishments back in again. And let's go ahead and put some of these down. I'm going to use my take your pick out, pick it up. My little putty end is getting a little thin. All right, so let's do one here. Whoops, come off. And then we'll do one here. And then I'm going to do another big one right about here. All right, here we go. We've got card number 3, and it is a little bit different. I mixed it up again. This one is raised, where this one was all one level. I colored my church a little bit differently. It's okay. I like it. I like shaking things up a little bit. Let me move all of this off here so that I can show you the other cards. I've got quite the mess going on with all my dimensional pieces, the backings. So let me get these out of the way real quick and in the bin, and then I'll bring the other cards in, and we will wrap up our class for tonight. All right, so we got all this. We move this off to the side. And okay, so we've got card number 3. We're going to do a countdown. Then we've got card number 2. Card number 2, I did a little bit differently as well by popping that up. And then card number 1. I did card number 1 a little bit differently as well. I popped it up. I love to pop things up. Can you tell? So anyway, we've got our Yuletide Village to-go class finished. I'm going to come back and just spend a little bit of time with you before I say goodbye, just to remind you that it is a to-go class. All the information that you need can be found at April Davis Creations, and you just want to remember to use the host code that is on the website, and that will be my clue that you are interested in this to-go class for free. You place an order on my online store, and then I will send you the cardstock and everything that you need to create 6 of these cards. So you're going to make 2 of each of these cards. Now, I don't do any stamping, so you're going to need to have the Yuletide Village stamp set and or something similar in your library. But all the rest of it, you can do. And I will, if it's die cut, I will send it die cut. If it's punched, I'll send the punches. Like I said, I just can't do the stamping. I'll also do the embossing. So anyway, that's the to-go class for tonight. Tonight is Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to start baking a couple of cakes for tomorrow. But thank you for spending time with me. I know you're not really here. This will post tomorrow, but I always appreciate it when you watch my videos. So please do like and share. It helps me to grow this channel. And more than anything, I just want to let you guys know how grateful I am for you. I love what I do, and I love sharing it with all of you. It creates happiness for me. So thank you so much. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.